Okay, let's take a look at skin. Here we have the anatomy of the skin. It is quite complicated over here, but we can dissect it into small parts so that it's easier to memorize. So you have the epidermis and the dermis. Epi here means outside of the dermis. Okay. Then in the epidermis, you have the conified layer. Conified layer is a dead layer. And then you have the Malpighian layer. The Malpighian layer is the layer that's growing. And then, conified layer and Malpighian layer in the epidermis. Then we look at hair. Hair, we have hair follicle. Hair follicle is where the hair grows. And then we have the hair erector muscle. It will control whether the hair stand on its end or lay flat. Okay, so hair follicle is the end over here, and then hair erector muscle is the muscle that pulls on the hair. And then near the hair, basically every strand of hair has a sebaceous gland. Okay, you might be wondering what is sebaceous gland. Sebaceous gland produce sebum. Sebum is another name for oil. So if you are undergoing puberty now, you probably have a lot of problem with pimples on your face. So that is because of your overactive sebaceous gland due to your messy hormones during puberty. Okay, so people like to pluck or pull out the small hairs. So when they pull the small hairs, they will affect the sebaceous gland. The sebaceous gland will secrete less oil. Okay, in this case. So take note, hair follicle, hair sebaceous gland, and hair erector muscle, they are one set. Okay, and conified layer, Malpighian layer, plus epidermis, they are another set. And then in your dermis, you will have sweat duct and sweat gland. Okay, sweat gland over here, sweat duct. This one is not gland, this one is pore. Can you change this to pore? Sweat pore, P-O-R-E. Okay, so sweat pore, sweat duct, and sweat gland, they come together. Okay, you will release sweat into the outer part of your skin when you feel hot. Okay, this is also what we call sweating lah. And then this thingy here that looks funny shape, this is actually your blood capillaries. Okay, and the round thingy is your fats. Okay, and then there are two receptors over here. The one that look like flower, many branch, is your temperature receptor. And the one that is in circular is actually your pressure receptor, or also known as your pain receptor. The two of them are, I want you to change this. This is not pain receptor. This is the temperature receptor. And then this one is your pain receptor. It's the other way. Okay? Pain receptor is also known as pressure receptor. Why? Because when you touch your skin lightly, your pressure receptor is activated. But when you were to put more pressure to your skin, it becomes painful. So in other words, the pain receptor and the pressure receptor, they are actually the same thing. Okay? Your pressure receptor is always helping you to decipher whether is it a very low pressure being pressed onto your skin or very high pressure. If it's very high pressure, it will become unbearable and it becomes pain. Okay? Then, So this one you can go through on your own. Okay, so what happens when the temperature drops below 37? So these are the things that will happen. When you are very cold, or basically the temperature drop below normal, you will have a decreased rate of heat loss and increased rate of heat production. So you are trying to conserve heat and at the same time generate more heat so that the temperature goes back to 37. So what happened here? the muscle around the arterioles, they start to contract. The muscles around the arteriole that supply blood to capillaries, they start to contract. And then there's vasoconstriction of arterioles. So what is vasoconstriction? You can think of it this way. This is your blood vessels. When your blood vessels were to constrict, it becomes what we call the lumen. The lumen size normally is like this, right? The lumen size is quite big. If it were to constrict, the lumen size becomes smaller. If it were to dilate, it becomes bigger. Okay?
Yeah.
So, in other words, vasoconstriction. So, in vasoconstrict, vaso here means the blood vessels. The blood vessel constrict. If the blood vessel constrict, you expect lesser blood to flow. Less blood will flow through the, what we call the capillaries. So you can imagine it as over here, there is less blood flowing. There's less blood flowing through here. So if there's less blood flowing through here, blood carry heat. So when there's less blood flowing below the skin, there's less heat loss through radiation to the outer region. So that is how you conserve heat loss. Vasoconstriction of blood vessels does reduce the amount of heat lost by conduction, convection, and radiation from blood to the external environment. The body will also shiver. Okay, shivering is a very fast and random contraction of the muscles. Okay, so by shivering, there is large amount of heat being produced. So you are basically carrying out large amount of aerobic respiration to release heat. You can imagine it as something like this. When you respire, there are two types of energy being released. Heat energy, and also a type of energy that you use for movement and also to do activities. Most of the time when you are exercising, you try to get this energy so you can exercise, you can move around. But you become very hot. In other words, when you're exercising, this is the main energy that you want. This is what you don't want. But when you are very cold, it's the other way around. When you are very cold, this is the energy that you want. You end up having a lot of this energy that you don't want. So what happened here will be, this type of energy will be channeled to your muscles, and your muscles just contract randomly. When it contracts randomly, we call it shivering. Okay? So it depends on this situation. Normally, when you exercise, you want this, you don't want this. So you move around, but you're very hot. You are very hot. So you tend to sweat a lot. And when you're very cold, you want this energy, but you don't want this energy. So what to do with this energy? You just randomly contract and shiver. Okay, wait. So rate of metabolic reaction will also increase. Your liver will carry out more activity to release heat energy. Hair erector muscle will contract. So you can imagine the hair erector muscle as like this. So when it contracts, it becomes shorter. So when it becomes shorter, the hair that was supposed to be like this, it will stand on its end. It will stand up. Okay, can? Normally it's like say it's like this lah. It lie flat. So when it contract, it becomes shorter, and it pull this hair, it pull it up. Can?
Yeah.
Yeah, so normally it is long, so it lies flat. So when the hair erector muscle is like this, so it pull this into here. It pull it from here to here. So instead of like this, it just moved up. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, there will be less sweating, and then there will be more urination. Increased urination is actually a side effect of less sweat. Because if you sweat a lot of water will be lost through sweating. So you won't have a lot of water to urinate. So that's why you have lesser urine. But if you cannot sweat, the water don't have places to go. So it will be excreted through your urine. Okay, so it's actually a side effect of less sweat. Next, when you're very hot. When you're very hot, there will be vasodilation. Okay, remember just now, vasoconstriction, you end up with less blood flowing underneath the skin. If you vasodilate, there will be more blood. More blood means more heat is being carried underneath the skin. More heat will be lost through conduction, convection, and radiation. Okay, shunt vessels will constrict. I'll tell you more about shunt vessels later. Rate of metabolic reaction decrease to produce less heat. And then the hair erector muscle will do the opposite. The hair erector muscle will relax. Change this to relax, making the hair lie flat and minimize the trapping of air. So there will be increased sweating, so that sweat, which contain mainly water, when water evaporates, it will cool the skin and lower its temperature. Okay, so let's take a look at shunt vessels. So what is this shunt vessels? Shunt vessels, unlike the capillaries, they basically do the opposite. So say just now, when you are cold, this is when you are hot. This is your blood vessels. Shunt vessels is found somewhere here. It is like the shortcut. So when you're cold, you want less blood to flow here. So if you want less blood to flow here, you will become smaller. This part is vasoconstrict. But this part will be vasodilate. The shunt vessel will vasodilate. Why? Because you can imagine it as a large amount of blood is flow over here. They either enter here or they enter here. So if you don't want large amount of blood to flow underneath the skin, you want more blood to flow back to your torso immediately. So more blood will take the shortcut way, and less blood will take the route underneath the skin. So your blood capillaries should constrict, while your shunt vessel should dilate. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're hot, it's the other way around. This part will be vasodilate, so that more blood will flow here. And then you want less blood to flow back. So this part will constrict. So it's the opposite. If your capillary vasoconstrict during cold weather, then your shunt vessel vasodilate during cold weather. If your blood vessels or capillaries vasodilate during hot weathers, your shunt vessels vasoconstrict during hot weathers. Okay, Ken?
Yeah.
Okay, simple as that.